Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion, recording the next in the series of Welcome to the Bandwagon. As you may have seen in some of my other videos that I've done, I think this is my third maybe, these are all about a lifetime soccer fan, myself, someone who has followed the World Cup extensively since 1994 when I was 24 years old, and it was back here last time in the US, to those of you who might be new to this. And the goal is to take the things I'm hearing, the things I know, all of that, and kind of digest it a little bit to about a 10-minute or so podcast. And my hope is, as I said before, that you'll take some of these nuggets, and when you see someone who is wearing the soccer jersey, wearing the World Cup gear, that you'll have something to talk to them about. Or you may just strike it up with someone in line, just someone randomly. Like, how about that US men's national team? Can you believe what Cape Verde is doing? Great conversation starters, y'all. And that's what I'm here for, to help you with that. Let's begin as we always begin by recognizing, realizing, celebrating, and affirming that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. So today, and I'm recording this late, actually early on Thursday, but still haven't gone to bed. So technically it's kind of Wednesday for me, which was match day 14. And was an amazing day because we had not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but six games, six matches, I should say, today. And there were some surprises. And actually, it was the last match, one of the last matches of the night, that was the biggest surprise. So let's talk about what we saw today, what we're going to see on Thursday when the men's national team takes the field again, and then what we can look forward to, how things are looking as next week, after this weekend, things are going to shift in a big way. And then it's game on, y'all, the knockout rounds. So, what did we see today? Well, we saw, first of all, this morning, we saw the unexpected, but not terribly thrilling game that we had to start things off. And I'm looking over here at my other screen where I have my notes. Actually, it's not really my notes, it's The Athletic. Great website to use for this purpose as we follow and track the World Cup. So, Canada was the big game in the first series, the 3 o'clock round, and they lost to Switzerland. And I got to tell y'all, I watched that game. It wasn't a great game for the Canadians, and it was confusing because you had Swiss and Canada, both whose colors are red and white, and the stands in Vancouver were packed with Canadians, all in red. But guess which team was in the red? Yeah, it was Switzerland. So Canada was in the white. And the good news is, even by losing by this scoreline, Canada is going to advance to the knockout round. The problem, though, is, y'all, had they won today or even tied, they would have played that next game in Canada. But instead, they're going to have to come to LA and play a higher seeded team. So kind of a rough day for the Canadians. In the other game, it was Bosnia and Herzegovina beating Qatar. And that's an important one because Bosnia and Herzegovina, that double country there, hyphenated country, if you will, that is who almost certainly the U.S. men will be playing next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the San Francisco Bay Area. U.S. men's team is already guaranteed that, and it is almost certainly going to be Bosnia and Herzegovina in that particular position. And we'll talk about them more as we get closer to that big date. A little bit later in the day, in that second 6 o'clock dinner time match, the big one to watch there was Brazil and Scotland. Now, Scotland beating Brazil would have been amazing. And I don't know that even the most hopeful in the Tartan army had thought that that was doable. And really, Scotland was kind of rooting for not a bad loss. And then they also were hoping that Haiti might surprise Morocco, which was the other game played simultaneously. Well, as it turned out, 3-0 Brazil. And Haiti did not win. It was an exciting game. Morocco won 4-2, and Haiti actually was 2-2 for a while. I mean, that was their first goal that they had ever scored. Haiti, they're going home, but I think they can feel pretty good about things. Scotland is hanging on by a thread. So what they're going to be looking for is to have other teams, because there's 6 third place teams. They're going to have to settle for a third place team, and they're going to have to see what other teams do as far as goals and wins and so forth. So they will be really, really waiting until the end of the weekend when the round of 32 will be settled. Then in the nightcap, the Brazil or Mexico and Czechia, not a terribly amazing game, 3-0 Mexico. Mexico did bring in their veteran goalkeeper, who I think now has played in 4 or 5 World Cups. It's just amazing. And apparently there was lots of love and lots of joy because that game was in Mexico City. And they are off to the 32. They have clinched it, which is pretty awesome. The surprise game on the other side was South Korea and South Africa. It was the Battle of the Souths. And South Africa has a quality team, actually. You may remember, or you may not, but good to know. In the Korea-Japan World Cup of 2002, Korea made it to, I believe it was the Final Four. And that really shocked the world because typically Korea is not as good as Japan, especially this year. Japan's looking pretty good. But Korea lost to South Africa 1-0, which puts the South African Bafana into the knockout stage. And this, y'all, was a huge deal. Just the joy that they felt, the fans and the players at the end of that game was remarkable because this is the first time they have gotten out of the knockout stage, out of the group stage, and it is pretty exciting for them. So that's where we ended on match day 14. Match day 15, which is what will be coming up on Thursday. Of course, the big one is Turkiye and the USA. Kind of a nice little rhyme there. That's at 10 o'clock. Got to stay up late for that, y'all. The good news is the game will be over by midnight. You may have noticed in these group stages, the games are almost exactly 2 hours long because there's no overtime, and the halves and so forth are pretty streamlined unless there's rain. Probably saw that the other night. The Argentina game waited 2.5 hours because of lightning, but for the most part, games are 2 hours. And the U.S. is playing in Los Angeles, so the chance of lightning is pretty low. But that's the big game at the end of the day. But earlier in the day, starting the day off, we get kind of a late start tomorrow. We start at 4 o'clock, so get a little extra time to prepare. The big game in that round is going to be Ecuador and Germany. Germany has already made it through. Ecuador has underachieved so far in this tournament, so they really want to have a win or a good showing. And then in the other game, it's Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, who has done really well so far. I think they're going to be advancing. They are playing Curacao, which you might have seen the other day. They tied for a moment. They had a goal. 7-1. Germany ended up turning on the gas, but they got a goal, and they are the smallest geographically, population wise nation ever to play at this level of the World Cup. So again, they're not going to advance. I don't even think they have a chance, but good on them for the showing that they have had. And then in that middle game, the 7 o'clock game, the big one there, some really good ones there. The Netherlands, who are a powerhouse and quite frankly, one of the teams I'm rooting for, they're playing Tunisia. Tunisia hasn't really shown up very much, so not going to really worry too much about that game. And then the other one that should be interesting is Japan and Sweden. And Sweden has been mixed. They're not a great team. Nobody's really picking them very high. But Japan is going to want to turn on the gas because I think Germany and Japan, they tied in their first game. I think they're going to both be battling for who is going to win the group. I believe that's still open at this point. But again, y'all, the big one is in our bracket, Group D, which is Turkiye and the USA. It's going to be an interesting game, y'all, because neither team has a reason, a meaningful, urgent reason that they have to win this game. Turkiye is eliminated. They definitely want to score a goal. They've been taking shots left and right, and they've been missing. It's ridiculous how bad they've been on goal. The US, we're already through, and there is certainly pride. I mean, they're going to want to go 3-0. Mexico went 3-0 in their group, and the US is going to want to do that. Now, what we know is the US will be resting some of its key players, four of them who have yellow cards. They're going to rest. So that will be four players probably that we haven't seen. Christian Pulisic, who's the captain, actually he's not the captain, but he's the Captain America, they call him, the Wonder Kid, if you will. He will probably be resting, although maybe we'll see him in the second half. What I'm hoping for is to see some of our men who have not played yet, including our boy from here at the Columbus Crew, Max Arston. To see him play, to see him get a goal or an assist, just to see him on the field is going to be such a joy. And really, really hoping that we see that tomorrow. So that is it for what we will be looking for. Mark your calendars now, July 1st. That is a Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Perfect time for watch parties, for viewing, for getting psyched. And this is a pretty amazing cup, y'all. And I really hope that you are enjoying it. I hope that you're getting friends and family to enjoy this. And I'll just say this to end. I was skeptical coming in. And I've said this before, every single day that passes, y'all, it helps me to understand that we need this, not as a distraction from the insanity of this dying regime, literally dying regime. Yeah, we need that. That's great. They're going to come back. This is going to end, and we're going to have the elections in the fall, and all kinds of craziness lies ahead. But I think for me, what this is showing us is what joy and fun and the international community, to see the national fans and our fans, just interacting with each other, Boston and Miami, and even places like Kansas City, just to see this joy that is there, and how these foreign visitors, these guests that we have, how they're enjoying America, and how so many regular Americans are enjoying them as well. So lots of joy, y'all. Lots of joy. So again, be back with you probably late tomorrow night after the U.S. men's game. I'm pretty fortunate this week because my work schedule has changed in a positive way. So I won't be as tired, and definitely planning up to stay up to watch that and try to jump on about this time tomorrow to give you some thoughts and hopefully celebrate the wins, right? So as always, y'all, blessing and good, be bold, be well, hold fast, y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again soon.